London's little lanes are charming now. But 150 years ago in places like this, you'd have had whole families crammed into these tiny rooms without running water. There would have been open cesspits spilling down the streets. And the stench of sewage boiling in the midday sun would have been unbearable. The whole city stank.
Smell like shit, literally.
It wasn't only horrible to live in, but genuinely dangerous.
You have one task, my fist. Locate the Queen of the Dead and end her. But the path will
Well, they still have those.
London had a problem.
I was
It was
made
the
for this
world's
mission.
biggest city. Its population was growing every year, along with the construction of new factories and mills and dockyards. All those people and all that industry produced a lot of waste.
Yeah,
It had to go somewhere. Where did it go?
the water.
Into the Thames.
Oh, I was right. Yeah, there you go. So it's a shit beach? That's it. Just dirt everywhere.
Something had to be done. And there was an engineer called Joseph Bazalgette who stepped in to construct London's new sewer network in the 19th century.
Oh, wow.
Sewers which still carry London's waste today, rushing beneath me.
So this legendary bald from years ago of an ancient age invented the best way to get rid of shit.
very moment. And he also constructed this embankment that I'm standing on to replace what was essentially a stinking swamp filled with rubbish and human waste and eels.
Stands with you!
Yep.
It's impossible to calculate how many lives he saved, how many millions of lives he improved. And he's commemorated here at a memorial that no one ever stops to look at.
Yeah. At least there's no graffiti on it. That's good. So they don't even understand. 1869. Holy shit.
When Bazalgette's embankment was completed
It's like 50 years ago.
in 1870, it needed lighting. And so a public competition was held to design the lamps that would light this new promenade. This was the winning design featuring these human creatures.
What the hell?
It's a little much.
Yeah, this is like got a bloodborne.
But what's clear is that the Victorians took great pride in their embankment and thought it needed a totally grand, dramatic decoration.
I mean, I do think the stuff looks cool. Like, that's really what it comes down to, right? Is like, do you want to live in a place that looks cool or not? I think this looks cool. That's what matters.
These lamps were among the first public electric lighting in the world.
At last?
This was a radical, revolutionary new technology. Crowds literally gathered to watch them be lit up for the first time. What the iPhone was in 2007, these lamps were in 1870.
So they still have to... Damn! Can you imagine seeing this? Like, it's crazy because you look at it now and it's like, well, that's kind of cool. But, like, I bet if you saw this, like, you know, not 150 years ago, right? This would be like... fucking... This is like magic. They could turn off the light and you don't need a fight. It's like sorcery, yeah.
Alas, a champion has fallen.
Looking at it now, you wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Rise, my fist of vengeance. Alas, a champion has fallen.
Those lampposts don't look modern to us now. They look quaint and old-fashioned.
A champion has fallen.
Because they are decorated. And we don't associate decoration with cutting-edge technology. And that's what makes the difference between us and the Victorians. They saw no contradiction between startling modernity and time-honored tradition. Just like this building, the legendary Houses of Parliament.
Wow.
It was brand new once, but even then, it had been designed in an old and medieval style of architecture.
Holy shit.
Every technology becomes obsolete and outdated. For the good aesthetic,
No time to
even
rest.
if fashion
More
change
undead
can
warriors
never
will
become
soon
obsolete.
arrive.
It is definitionally timeless.
I mean, we still have pyramids, you know, people still go to see that shit was a long time ago.
Those lamps coming back did their job. And even though more efficient and better methods of lighting are invented, they remain 150 years later.
Yeah, people are gonna like looking at those, and I think really it's just cool. And I feel like that's enough reason right there by itself. You know, the blueprint, history, who built it, I don't know. Pyramids were released 100 years ago, I think like 500 years ago.
That's the power of good design. And it applies to lampposts, no less than to national parliament.
Yeah. That was badass. Look at that. Holy shit. Yeah, like, I mean, look at this, bro. This is like out of a video game. Like, they put all the effort and time into putting all this together and everything. Like, this is this is like your culture, right? This is your country. And like, you don't have stuff that looks cool like this. It's cool, but we don't build stuff like this anymore, and there's not as much emphasis on it like there used to be. There's not at all. I think one of the other reasons is that they don't want to make stuff like this anymore because people fuck it up. That's another big component, I think, at least here in America.
And so here, in the Houses of Parliament, everything's been talking about coming together at last. Except that this is not the Houses of Parliament.
What is that?
It's an old sewage facility. A pumping station built in the
You
19th
telling me this is a shit shack? Oh my gosh! I thought this shit was a museum. What?
century as part of Battle Jets.
What?
Strange thing that this
What do you mean?
a purely functional building with the sole purpose of managing human waste.
Yeah.
And yet it has been designed with the same ornamental exuberance as any church or palace.
Yeah.
Why? Well, people work there. And why shouldn't people who work in sewers also...
I wonder, like, because y'all ever had a situation where your internet goes down for like an hour and you make more progress on household chores or little things that you've had to catch up on? You make like a month's worth of progress in 43 minutes.
Alas, a champion has fallen.
Right, yeah. And so I think that's kind of what happened. Is that, like, really there were so few distractions back then, and people didn't have like the infinite things that were competing for your attention at like every single microsecond that you exist, that they could focus on doing stuff like this more. I think that's a big component.
in this beautiful place of work. That is how it's formed. But there's more.
Yeah.
There was also
Fewer distractions, exactly.
pride, a belief that what they've done here was worthwhile, that it meant something.
Yeah.
And the result, over a
He's
century
talking about
later,
right now, yeah.
that this place, sewage facility, is now a museum, a tourist destination. If you want to know what any society really believes in, let's look at how they design their sewage.
Damn, look at that. They don't even have the pointy thing. It's just
Just a few steps from the old 19th century Victorian pumping station.
You know what all this reminds me of? It reminds me of like modern video game interfaces. You know, and like I never really thought about it like this. Like, let me see here. Like this is like look at this interface. Like compare this. Like this is the same difference like video games. Right? You compare like Diablo Immortal or Diablo 4 to this. Right? Like you got something like this going on. and like it's a totally different universe, totally different world, right? And like it's just the style and like the effort that's put into it is just so much better. It's so much 1,000 fucking times better. And I go back and I think about this, and that's another thing too, is that I always think about like which ones do I go back and think about later on. The original Xbox UI? Oh, with the 4 things. Yeah, I remember that. It's a loss of collective identity too, which is happening a lot. No, you're right. Yeah, it's the erasure of the collective culture. I think absolutely you're right.
which is now being decommissioned, is the one built to replace it. It's not bad, I suppose. But it was very clearly not built by the same society.
Look, there's shit on the ground.
Or at least not by a society with the same views about architecture and design. Will this, like the original, be turned into a museum?
I don't think so.
Maybe.
We can make
In
it a
any
prison.
case, I imagine that it is more functional. And that it was more convenient to build and to design. Convenient. Now that's an important word.
The air conditioning?
Look at this air conditioning unit.
Yeah.
I think it says more about the modern world than anything else. More than phones or social media.
Yeah.
It's a miraculous technology. One that has changed
magic,
the world
honestly.
Billions of lives.
Yes.
And you think that literally everywhere.
Right.
But it's ugly. Ugly because it doesn't seem to express any belief in the idea that ordinary things can also be beautiful. But worse than ugly, it's boring. Now, it's going to be a bit more expensive to make it pretty good. Take a little time and care and attention. But these days, it seems that we would rather make more money to make things look pretty.
Because nobody has any money.
Maybe that's okay.
Well, I think they probably had a bunch of functional stuff back then too that nobody gave a shit about, and it was just there to do something. But the problem is that the amount of it, the percentage of it was like that. Like now, everything is functional, interchangeable slop that has no identity or cultural value at all. And the only things that we have that are from that is like from like 200 years ago. But like obviously doesn't mean everything has to be like
Far from over.
survivorship bias. Oh, exactly, yeah.
So you can see, I hope.
So like it's not like it's not 100% or zero.
As simple as those lampposts, you can understand the Victorians in their entirety. They didn't have to make it look like that, but they did. Now, you might not think it's beautiful, but I don't think it was supposed to be beautiful. It was just supposed to be pretty. At least interesting.
Good. Yeah.
At least not
Duh.
boring.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
that-
shit.
In itself says an awful lot. Walking around a city, any city, looking at its buildings and infrastructure, you're not just looking at objects. You're looking at religion, principles, beliefs, and ideas. These buildings don't just look different. They represent fundamentally different worldviews, touching ideas about how we should all think, live,
What the fuck was that?
and those skyscrapers say the same thing as our air conditioning units and sewage plants. That we have become a society of convenience above all else.
This struggle may be as
Yeah, it's probably
eternal
true.
as I.
Yeah, people just care about being able, like, I think there's also like a degree of
Chaos.
I think that there's a lot less people that like kind of live in the moment. I think that there's so much focus on, you know, the next thing or some sort of like there's not really I'm trying to think like the good word. I don't really know what the word is for it. It's not coming to mind. But like there's a degree of kind of presence, I guess, like, you know, like direct presence that people generally don't have nowadays. I don't know really if you've noticed this, but like if you go back and you watch old videos of like, for example, you know, movie releases or video game like like midnight releases, the way that people talked and behaved was just totally different. There wasn't constantly like a demand to go from point A to point B. Sometimes the journey was the destination, and I think that, I mean, really, it's kind of like an abstract thing to say. It could be kind of a slop thing to say, but I think it's also true to an extent that people treated the way that they went about their lives as their lives rather than an inhibitor to their lives. And I think that the constant fixation that people have on technology and social media and everything has turned it to be where, like, you very rarely have somebody who, like, just sit and think. And this is something that I've always noticed is that, like, whenever I feel like I'm, like, kind of losing it, right, in a way, I'm, like, getting a little bit crazy, one of the ways that I can tell that is that I don't really spend any time with myself. Like, people don't spend time with their self anymore. They don't think about, you know, like, anything beyond just, like, what they're immediately consuming at that exact second. And I think that really, like, leveling in WoW, yeah, I mean, in a way, yeah, Constellation, yeah, like, nobody is thinking about anything other than the next thing. People can't do nothing and be bored anymore. And I've done this before. Like, I'll be honest, right? I wasn't doing it, but I've many times, whenever I've gotten to a red light, I've picked up my phone and looked at my phone while I'm stoplight while I'm driving. And it's like that type of mentality. And like, I know that, for example, like, you guys probably all had a time of this happening, right? Where like you were driving and then you ended up turning on the radio and you just sat there and rode and you just thought. And I feel like there's a certain like presence and like serenity to that you know, modern life just doesn't have any sort of room for. You're on call all the time, focus on
But there's something else that we haven't mentioned about these lamps. It would be easy to believe that they were made by artists, and that we somehow wouldn't be able to or couldn't afford to make them anymore.
Of course you could.
But just like our modern lampposts, our air conditioning units, our everything,
Yeah.
these were also mass-produced, made in a factory. We could still mass-produce lamps just like these if we want to. We can make our offices and our warehouses look like process company things. We
nice.
can make anything we want. That's the ultimate truth. The hardest one to accept.
People put up with
But we
it.
don't. Never the priority. That's fine. But it's vital we accept that there is another way.
It's more expensive. I think that the government should try to do things like this, you know, like works of art. Like, I think it's important to have that so you can establish, like, a cultural heritage. Because I think if you don't have that, you lose a degree of like, shared experience living in a world. Necessarily argue whose fairy tale gets the reins supreme. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of that. Thoughts are scary, life is hard, people want to escape from real world problems. That's right. And so now they're addicted to Labubu, vapes, and galaxy gas. Watching TikToks made by China to make them gay.
Modern design tells the truth.
Subscribing to
very loudly,
OnlyFans.
that we are technologically superior, and very efficient, but also a little bit boring and unimaginative. And it says that we no longer believe in the idea of ordinary beauty.
Damn, that's
or in
nice.
the
Wow.
idea of a public that deserves ordinary beauty. Museums and galleries are wonderful places where we can come and look at things that people used to make and
Yeah, look
admire
at
their
that.
handiwork.
Holy shit.
They're not just dead historical artifacts. These are living echoes of different ideas about what the world is.
If
And what-
globalism is to blame, why isn't this possible anymore? I think it's just really to save money. Like, I think that the best example, like, this guy is like a fucking European or some shit, right? And so, like, he doesn't know the way it is in America. Like, I'm not thinking about the fucking, you know, like the Parliament. I'm thinking about Pizza Hut. And so, you remember the old Pizza Hut buildings, right? I mean, they looked really cool. They were great. And the old McDonald's buildings were really cool. They looked great. But the problem, and I think what happened really, is that, and you know this, how many of y'all know, I said it earlier when about you were going to start the video, I'll do it again, how many of y'all know a Pizza Hut is now a chiropractor's office, a veterinary clinic, it's a, you know, maybe an accounting office, a law firm, or something like that, but you just look at the building and you know that's a Pizza Hut. You know, oh, that's, oh, at the old Pizza Hut, now it's a CVS, right, something like that. It's a dentist. Yep, 100%, a hotel, exactly. And so, I think that what happened is that the reason why they have modern design for a lot of these buildings is because it makes it easy to resell them, and making everything uniform makes it easy to, you know, get a larger return on investment for buying property and making sure that your building is applicable to more types of businesses. I think that's what happened. That's another very big component.
But in the end, you can't do that.
Doesn't mean you can't have some nice shit.
One thing, Jake, it's a significant question. But that's money. But now, what's important is you realise that things clearly have changed.
That's way different.
And that we've learned
Way different.
around. Now, this isn't about the past versus the present. It's about learning from the past in order to improve the present. And what the Victorians can teach us is that even ordinary, useful things can also be useful. It's true.
You watch an AI chiropractor video? I've seen some of them, yeah. Cinematic shots. Yeah, it's a good video. It's a very good video. I mean, in my opinion, I think that really that's the reason why it happens in the U.S. is it just gets it gets them to make more of their money back. I think this is great. Yeah, this is a really great video. I didn't expect it to be as clean as it was. But now we're pushing AI to replace real art as growth. Oh, really? Wow, so they can make another one of those lampposts, right? The fucking plastic lampposts that they were showing in the video. Really good video. Should make a full documentary. Yeah, exactly. And I think the basic style is called brutalism. Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? But internet and optimization of sites are the same. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, some of the old sites were awful. But, like, you know, remember, like, you know, people, like, customizing their MySpace accounts and stuff like that. But, yeah, I think this is really, really great video. I'm going to subscribe to this guy's channel and give him a like. And this video, like, just totally popped off. Had almost 4 million views. I'll link it to you guys. And so, yeah, there it is right there. Love this. What a great video. Yeah, give it a like. Give the guy a sub. He's only at 200,000 subs. Something like this. It's great. And shitification is very similar to this. Well, I think really the reason why stuff like this happens is really simple. It's just because these companies want to save money. I don't think there's a lot more complexity to it. I think that in most cases that's it. And also what's happened too is that people have had so many things competing for their attention that there isn't really the appreciation for the in the present, just seeing things and observing them, because nowadays there's just so many things happening all the time. Yeah, that's really it. It's not cheaper, he said it. Well, it's definitely cheaper. It 100% is cheaper, because even if you can mass produce something, mass producing something with a bunch of bells and whistles and pointy things and stuff like that, you're using more material, you need a more advanced mold to make it out of. Yeah, it's going to be more expensive even if it's being mass produced. Like, that's not, like, I mean, again, it's not going to be infinitely more expensive, but it will be more expensive 100%. And I don't know why anybody would even say otherwise, but there it is. But the consumer decides, the consumer in the U.S. values differently. Well, yeah, but I think that's why decisions like this that are made, I think that they primarily have to be made by the government, right? I mean, these are things that the government should be funding, like things like, you know, like FDR did some of this stuff too, and, you know, in the past they did this as well. Like, there's been many cases, like after like World War I, they had like a water lilies painting that, like, I think Monet did. for France, and so it was pretty popular, right? Everybody's competing for empty vanity. Yeah, it's just like one example. And so really, I mean, you can't expect average people to do that, but you can expect that like the government that wants to create some degree of culture, right? Absolutely. So yeah, things change though. Yeah, I mean, they definitely have, but sometimes that's not necessarily a good thing. And I feel like this is one of those instances. So yeah, that's the way I see it. Some guy from Afghanistan got arrested. This is like some new fucking thing. Some like guy got charged with domestic terrorism. So that one guy had that happen like a few days ago, and now it's again.
After he posted a video saying he was building a bomb with Fort Worth, Texas.
Why would you post a video saying that you're gonna build a bomb? Like, I mean, you gotta be fucking retarded to do that. How do you do this?
Christina Coleman joining us live with the latest on that story from the Southland. Christina.
Yeah.
Hi, Kevin. Yes, DHS spokesperson Christian McLaughlin says just one day before the terrorist attack against the National Guard in Washington, D.C., another Afghan national who was paroled into the U.S. under Biden's Operation Allies Welcome program was arrested for
Operation Allies Welcome. And the guy's talking about building a bomb in America.
A champion has fallen. I fear this struggle maybe is eternal. Rise, my fist of vengeance.
Oh, good.
The battle has
Authorities
only just
identified the
begun.
suspect as Mohammed Salwood Alakoze. DHS says he's accused of posting a video of himself on TikTok indicating he was building a bomb intended for the Fort Worth area.
How do you do this?
Brooke Taylor reports that he was arrested on Tuesday by the Texas Department of Public Safety and FBI in a coordinated law enforcement effort.
They don't vet any of these people?
Was
Yeah.
paroled into the U.S. in September of 2022. He had been admitted as a lawful permanent resident. Also,
Why? Why do we have a random person from Afghanistan in America? Why is this even happening? This is crazy.
Form of the country's immigration vetting process following the attack on the National Guard on Wednesday, which involved a suspect who was also enrolled into the U.S. under Biden's Operation Allies Welcome program.
This is how they come in. This is how they're standing on top of each other. And
That's a lot of people.
Now, DHS says about 85,000 Afghans settled into the U.S. under Biden's Welcome Allies program. Sean Van Driver, the president of Afghan EVAC, says vetting was conducted, but again, a review of the vetting process will take place. Now, as for the suspect in
Obviously not. And even if it was vetted, apparently it didn't work. So either you didn't do it or you're bad. Which one is it?
Worth, ICE has lodged a detainee on him, and he was charged at the state level with making a terroristic threat. Kevin?
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno.
Yeah, and they vetted dirt. Yeah, I guess so. And it's just crazy. Crazy how this shit happens. And apparently it's going to, I think it's probably going to get worse. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. I'll make sure I turned it up.
the magnitude of the...
Oh, here we go.
An Afghan national was arrested in Texas just a day before the National Guard shooting in Washington, D.C. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said the suspect, also reportedly let in under the Biden administration, posted a video of himself on TikTok indicating he was building a bomb with an intended target of the Fort Worth area. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt
just self-snitching. Like, it's crazy.
Posting, quote, the magnitude of the national security crisis Joe Biden unleashed
His name's
on our country
Loco? No.
over the span of 4 years cannot be overstated.
How many views, though?
President Trump
Enough.
has directed his entire team to continue rooting out evil within our borders. Our next guest is a U.S. Marine veteran who helped me rescue this Marine withdrawal. Chad Robichaux.
The 6 months ago, another Afghan
Also, thank you for joining us this morning on this.
I appreciate the OG video. I don't think they have it.
You did several deployments to Afghanistan. You fought alongside a lot of Afghanis, and I think he probably supported helping some of them get out of Afghanistan during that disastrous withdrawal. What were the problems you recognized at the time with letting 80,000 Afghani nationals into the United States?
I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, I said,
Why would we need 80,000 people from Afghanistan? Really? Why is this even on the table? Why the fuck would this even be discussed? It's crazy.
Fox News at that time, I said this,
Yeah.
4 years ago, when the NGOs were doing the evacuation. We were evacuating people out of Afghanistan, not bringing people to America. In fact, no NGO and no individual has the ability to bring someone to America. But that's because we were watching U.S. military forced by Joe Biden, give credit, our service members.
Yeah, sure.
That amazing job there. White House.
They're just following over.
Unvetted, undocumented, Afghan planes that fly straight to the United States and then cruise into the interior of the country. 80 to 100,000.
Wow.
Actually, one of them has to show up and is going to do it to the United States. I mean, that is one scenario. We also have the border that was open every single day.
It's crazy how something like this could happen. I hear 100K. That was the top analysis or assumption. I don't know.
One of the points...
See, those are illegal orders to bring enemies back. I feel like a lot of the people aren't in it. Like, I'm sure a lot of the Afghanistan people are probably fine, but the reality is that the answer to the amount of them that should have been brought in is zero. Because you're bringing these people in, and even if some of them cause problems, those are still problems that you have voluntarily forced everybody else into for no reason.
Point that I think you have made is the fact that
there's one bad one.
some of those guys were vetted, but they were vetted
there's a
contract workers for the CIA, not vetted to come and live in suburban America.
Yeah, look, I worked in
So that's not the video, right?
For 14 years. When I was in Afghanistan, I was a DoD contractor at JSON.
Oh, it's being labeled as white. Yeah, sure.
Afghans working with us. We vetted them to work for us.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference when you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Right. They're great to work in. It doesn't mean it wouldn't eventually be a good American, but
Well, they probably would, maybe, but maybe not. And like at the end of the day, if you're bringing in something, like let's say you bring in 100,000 people and 1% of them cause problems. Well, you've just introduced 1,000 problems into the country. And you got to ask yourself, why are you even doing that? Like, when did we decide that we need a bunch of people from Afghanistan to come into America? Like, the entire premise of this is just mind-boggling. And outrageous.
criteria of them working as a combatant doesn't qualify to integrate in our society. There's a separate process for that, and that's the State Department's responsibility to do that.
It's humane somewhere in Florida. Well, so now we have to endanger Americans for that? No.
We got people like Ranger
Shouldn't do it.
out of Afghanistan. He had to go to UAE and wait 9 months for the State Department to do their due diligence process.
It's not even a question.
Yeah, you raise a really important point, because even if they were good friends and soldiers there, the cultural differences are extraordinary. And you have two problems. One is the fact that maybe they have prior ideations about America. But the other thing is just the cultural shock of coming here. We don't know, maybe coming here in the duress of being here for years, feeling out of place, the cultural shock could also turn somebody against the United States.
Well, I mean, we make promises, we break promises, people won't work with us. Well, maybe we shouldn't work with them either. Maybe we shouldn't be in Afghanistan to begin with. Like, why are we even in Afghanistan anyway? Like, at a certain point, you have to stop making mistakes. Like, it was a mistake to be there. It was a mistake to promise them that. And at a certain point, are you going to continue committing yourself to a cascade of mistakes that is going to have infinite problems that it will lead to in the future? Or are you going to stop making mistakes and say, yeah, maybe this isn't the right call, but it's for the best interest of more people? It's an easy decision.
Very easy. Not a lot of people are saying this, and it can't be overlooked. If you're an Afghan, you gave 10 years of your life to fight alongside the Americans, and now the rug was pulled underneath you. Yeah. We abandoned our allies there. We left the most strategic place in the globe, Afghanistan, with Iraq, Iran, Russia, and China. And the Taliban to take over their women, their children. So
after
maybe,
20 years.
And I'm certainly not giving an excuse for an Afghan that's here in America. But maybe they're here. They feel so betrayed by the Biden administration did. They're back here.
You don't understand why I do it? No, I mean, like, me not agreeing with one thing and saying you don't understand it. 80,000 of them are not all cooperative. Like, well, we really think 80,000 of these people, every single one of them was somebody who was cooperating?
In Uber, because that's the only job they can get. Meanwhile, their mom and their sisters back.
Just use some logic for like 3 seconds.
There's the Biden administration set up a very good scenario to be hated by these people. Exactly. But it's a reality that we have to recognize.
Yeah, without a doubt, it is not any excuse whatsoever, but it does remind us all that these were all stupid mistakes that could have been foreseen and avoided if they had listened to people like you. So we appreciate that. Chad Robichaux, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again for your service.
And Die Hard is a Christmas movie, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I didn't expect that. All right. Well, once Iraq, our help with translators saved my ass and at least 22 others. Yeah, no doubt. But like, I mean, we're not talking about 22,000 people. 20 people. Like, that's one thing, right? We're talking about 80,000 people they're getting all invited in. There's no fucking way that all of them were informants and fucking translators. Like, what was Dylan talking about this? It's obvious that's not what happened. And also, like, I mean, again, if you're bringing in and putting American lives in danger, and in order to, like, in order to gain a foothold in Afghanistan, basically, like, here's the question, right? In order to have some sort of influence in Afghanistan, you have to indirectly put American lives in danger. Maybe it wasn't a good idea to try to gain influence in Afghanistan. Families as well? Okay, so now it's going to be more and more and more people. Like, holy fuck, absolutely not. Like, and like, oh wow, well this is going to prevent us from having another war in Afghanistan in the future. Good. Thank God. Maybe it'll stop.
But the war is far from over.
With Gabriella Powell.
Hello and welcome to Power Hour. I'm Gabriella Power. Thank you for your company. Coming up on the show, the bromance is back on between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. CNN reminds Democrat Stacey Plaskett that Jeffrey Epstein was a known sex offender when she was texting him. Plus, more trouble for UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. New polling shows the number of Britons that want him out of the top job. It's time for media meltdowns, and the Democrats and the leftist media have been desperate in their attempts to attack Donald Trump over the Epstein files. Here's MSNBC's Jen Stuck.
In supporting what Donald Trump is doing.
You don't have the other predators out there, in addition to Trump. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't know the details about that. I mean, in addition to what we learned about Epstein and others, there's other predators out there. There are. You can see the moment she realizes there could be a lawsuit coming. Now, the attempt to attack Donald Trump over this is backfiring. As I've said many times before, these files have been released a long time ago. It should go without saying, pedophiles should never be protected. There needs to be greater transparency, and most importantly, there needs to be justice for the alleged victims. But finally, the House of Representatives passed a bill to compel the Justice Department to release a trove of files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, even CNBC is calling out Democrats for their BS, asking the obvious question, why these files were not released under Joe Biden.
Why wasn't there more clamor in the Biden administration to make sure that these files were
But
released?
can you repeat your success?
Well, I can't speak to that. What I will say is Donald Trump ran on this, on the release of the Epstein files.
I just want to jump in there because Jeffrey Epstein died in in 2021. But President Biden was in office, Democrats were in office, and could have pushed for this very argument to make sure that survivors were.
The Democrats' narrative has been the Senate team revealed that Epstein was texting Democrats on how to hurt Donald Trump. Here is the exchange between convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and Democrat Stacey Plaskett during a 2019 congressional hearing with Michael Cohen. Now, the messages were reviewed by the Washington Post.
Alas, a champion has fallen.
Today, contradicting your testimony. Suggests we're going to review that. Point to review in our next break. Yes. Question: you helped out the president, or were involved in your words today? Your idea dating back to 2011. Is that accurate? Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization? Are there other people that you should be meeting with? And would she be able to corroborate many of the
There's no time to rest. More undead warriors will soon arrive.
Involved in a lot that went on.
So you can see that text message exchange. Jeffrey Epstein even says, "Good work." Here is Stacey Plaskett defending her communication with the sex offender on CNN.
I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information, and I was going to get information to get at the truth. Having a real friendship with him is not something that I would deem to have. And so I'm just looking forward. I'm moving forward. And I think that that's what we as American people should do, is move forward. If individuals are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things, I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes, and as a prosecutor, you get information from people where you can.
You know the Democrats are in trouble when they've lost CNN and BBC. Hakeem Jeffries was asked if he's spoken to Stacey Plaskett about the Epstein text controversy, and he struggled to give a clear answer.
Have you spoken to Stacey Plaskett?
I have not. We've made clear repeatedly we're not going to unilaterally. I'm saying we will not unilaterally. Not now, not ever.
Fight harder. You are opposed to be dead. A champion has fallen. A champion has fallen.
Elon Musk has returned to the White House. He was among the guests at the South Carolina in the interview with President Trump. Let's take a look at his reaction. And Signal Principal and Holster Nick Weinstein. Thank you both so much for joining us. Thank President Trump for all he has done for America and the world. I look forward to
Champion has fallen.
But if you were all I believe that this will eventually concerned about the direction of this nation, and I think friends can fight, but
last of these campaigns that blew up pretty quickly last night. They're backing off. And following Elon Musk's and John Grishman's fallout, I can honestly say that using the capital only MBS strategic time and leaving money kind of being controlled with all these businesses basically expensive investment gathering population that any country has been administration. That would incentivize Elon Musk. Now, I still don't think Elon Musk agrees with the big things the things that he disagreed with Trump during Trump's first 2 months in office. I still think that's still sticking to Tesla that's another story. I don't think he really handles willing to do that. He will get rid of his mission to get us to Mars and to establish human life in space. I don't believe President Trump addressed the Saudi Investment Forum where he's laughed at Joe Biden. Listen to this.
They're respecting America again. They didn't respect us. We were like a bunch of stupid people. We had a president that couldn't get up and talk, couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. We had people that didn't know what the hell they were doing. We were embarrassed with all over the world. But now we have people that are respected at levels that we've never seen before.
Donald Trump has had some huge wins on the world stage. However, his polling numbers show that Trump's approval rating has dropped below 38%. This is according to a recent Reuters poll. It shows that his numbers are down 9 points since he took office. Nick, what's your take on this? And we know Donald Trump says that he ignores most of the polls.
Yeah, and rightfully so. They've missed for him in the past, but I think there is a little bit of a reason for concern, right? These numbers are lower than they were a month ago, lower than they were 2 months ago, but I don't know that there's any reason to necessarily think that the last 45 days, which have been obviously difficult for President Trump, are necessarily an indicator of what the next 45 days or what the electorate might look like in November of next year. And I think to an extent, Trump's been a little bit of a victim of his own success, right? There were 3 major issues